Have you ever wondered why?
When?
How much?
What if?
Well, you're in luck, because you're listening to the Hypothetipast.
3 best buds.
On a mission.
To ask all the questions?
And get all the answers.
I was born with both guns blazing, and I do think I'm amazing. You got the dignity to feel a little about yourself. I don't care what your preacher says. I got my own vicious ways. Only got one commandment, and it goes: I'm killing it. I'm killing it. I'm killing it.
Hello.
Hi. It's a new year and it's a new me. I'm ready to learn how to fight.
Whoa.
I can't
All right.
wait for you to fight, David.
What's your name?
My name is Jackie Chan, and I'm here to teach myself how to fight.
Oh, man, if only I lived with Jackie Chan.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I really do feel my failure every day of my life when I wake up and I realize, 1, that I'm not Jackie Chan, but 2, that you're going to be even more disappointed that I'm not Jackie Chan than I am disappointed that I'm not Jackie Chan. It really feels like a letdown on 2 fronts. My name's David.
Hi, David. My name is Emily.
Hi, David. My name is Mike.
Same old.
Hi, Mike.
I'm the same old,
Hi, Emily.
same old gal from the last
Just
year.
regular? You're not Jackie Chan either?
I'm regular, not Jackie Chan, just Emily.
I'm Sammo Hung.
Yes, I love him.
Love that guy.
Dirty man.
Emily's like not sure if I'm making a joke or not. Sammo Hung is a legitimate, amazing martial arts star like Jackie Chan.
good.
He's like bigger, and so if you saw him, you might not guess that he's a martial arts star, but he is just as fit and as amazing
good.
as Jackie Chan or any other major martial arts
The
star.
thing is, I think I know who that is. That's actually what my face was saying, was like, I think
Oh,
I know
yeah?
who that is, which is weird because you wouldn't think I would know who a person that is.
He has not had the crossover. He has not had the crossover appeal that Jackie Chan did. But today, I would like to look. We always look to the future, and I feel like it's time to look back at the year 2020. And I think in one of our last episodes, we talked, or I maybe went on a mini rant about how the way we count years is an arbitrary distinction, and it's a little silly to be like, well, 2020's done. What else could go wrong? You know?
Yeah.
What was our theme for 2021?
No guarantees.
I was going to say no expectations, no guarantees.
Both, yeah, both.
I think we have a lot of expectations and no guarantees.
Yeah, I think that's the good thing to remember. But I feel like we should look into our Hypothetipast and talk about some of our favorite things of 2020, because I think there is such a thing as toxic positivity, where it's like, let's just look on the bright side and all get along. And that's not a good way to do it. But there is a value in looking at the things that bring us joy and happiness. And I think we had those. However,
I think we had those.
David brought up when we were talking about this episode that, you know, he didn't watch a lot of new movies or anything during 2020. Hard to make like a top 10 movies list. And I totally get that. So I thought, let's approach it in a different way and just do like any kind of favorite moments, favorite people, favorite locations. Let's get creative with it. So I looked up some lists online of good favorite thing questions to ask people to get to know them.
What a job it is to write those lists.
Yeah.
What a job.
I bet they're
Yes.
making the big bucks.
The thing
That's
is,
the good thing, is they're getting paid really well, and they're probably contracted and they have health insurance.
there's one that's like, it's called from pairedlife.com, and it's all about relationships. And then
give me
it has
that.
170 favorite things questions. But here's the thing. They're not well crafted. Literally, there's one about food that's like, what's your favorite Starburst? What's your favorite dish at Olive Garden? What's your favorite kind of sushi? And honestly, not bad questions, but like not really like I can think of that. I can just look at a list of restaurants and like, I hope
You can look around your kitchen and see what's there and ask, what's your favorite blender?
I really, I think
that's not
that
something.
sounds like the start of a great date, though, to print that list out, bring it on a date, take it out,
yes.
unfold it, and say, what's your favorite Starburst?
and then quietly spend like 30 seconds writing down every answer.
Writing something down, cross it off, and saying,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
that's interesting.
Pink
2 hours
Starburst,
later, the date is
interesting.
over.
And at least you got $80 for being in that focus group.
All right, Mike, hit us. I love answering these types of things. I love talking about myself.
Yeah. Can I answer for Emily too before she answers?
Sure.
Okay, cool. As a man, I feel like it's best if I talk first and talk over a woman.
Is this a part of your new you?
Yeah. New year, new toxic Dave.
No.
I'm ready. Let's go. I'm going to take up space. I'm white and a man.
Some of these I'm going to go with the classic sleepover tradition of like how you add in bed to like, would you rather questions or other stuff. I'll just add in 2020.
Okay.
So here's one. Where's the most relaxing place you've been in 2020?
Ooh.
I know mine. I mean, I know Emily's.
You go first, David, if you know.
Okay, I actually do know mine. I think it's southwest shore of Lake Hiawatha.
Oh yeah.
There's a little place you can walk out there where like people fish a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They go like fly fishing there. You can like walk through all these weeds and then just go sit out there, and it's shockingly peaceful and feels rural in a way that not many lakes surrounded by cars feel.
Cool.
And that was probably the most relaxing place that I was in 2020.
Did you go there and like read a book or fish or something?
Yeah, I caught a lot of fish.
I was wondering where those fish were coming from.
Ask me which my favorite one was.
What was your favorite fish that you caught, David?
The shark.
The shark! You caught the shark in Lake Hiawatha.
Shark was my favorite shark.
Good job, David.
Yeah, thank you. I saved us.
Yeah, it was a menace.
Did you
It was
see-
menacing the Lake Hiawatha.
Eating small dogs.
Terrible, and I caught it.
Did you see the big fish that the kids caught in the creek?
This is Sunday morning in a small town at church while eating donuts before the service starts type small talk. What are you saying? Did you see the big fish that the kids caught in the kids caught in the creek?
Okay,
What?
so I thought by me saying that you would help me fill in the details. I can't remember, but it was in Minnehaha Creek, which for those of you not in the Twin Cities area is like a creek that goes through the southern part of Minneapolis. It's a really beautiful creek to walk along.
So
Was it like one of those
Emma-
crazy bottom feeder things?
Yeah, I want to say like a sturgeon or something like that.
Nice.
But it was like
That's pretty
enormous,
cool.
and these kids caught it, and then I think they just threw it back or something. Like
It was very
were like,
creepy looking.
but it was very big.
Huh? No, I looked it up. It's actually the same shark that I caught in Lake Hiawatha. Wow, this is weird. I'm in some of these pictures too. Huh. Wow.
Okay.
How strange. This is pretty scary.
All right, well. Emily, what was the most relaxing place you went in 2020?
Okay, so truly probably my bed, but
That's fine.
Yeah, not a bad answer.
also probably going on walks when it was nicer out with my baby, put her in a stroller, get all cozy and put on my sneaks, and we would go walk around, generally just like a little south of where I live, but specifically my favorite place was when we would walk around Sibley Park, which is just a normal park, but it was always pretty, and there's a lot of grassy areas to hang out, and it was just very nice to be in a place where we were likely to see other people just being normal humans and like playing fetch or pushing a kid on a swing. It was just kind of like a nice little respite.
Aw.
And it was nice to be out of the house.
Nice.
You know what's amazing about that really makes me so happy, Emily, is that I'm sure I've said this to you before, but like Sibley Park is where I would go literally every day of my young life because my parents live half a block away from it and play on all of it. I'd play on the whole park.
That's
And so it's just so
cool.
nice to know that you're raising a kid near Sibley Park.
Yeah.
It just makes me so happy.
I sure am. The last time we went, like the last nice day, I tried to push Edith on a swing. She was not into that, but she was like so into this guy playing fetch with his dog that I think we made him uncomfortable.
Was she cheering or like yelling encouragements?
Like, pointing. So she's really into dogs. So she was pointing and making her little dog bark noise, which is like
yes, which I have heard on the gram.
And then also occasionally, like when the dog would start to run, she would just go, ah!
Like, is that
she was so happy?
Is that a noise she thinks the dog makes, or is that just her being excited?
No, it was her being like, holy crap, there is a whole dog right in front of me running.
A whole dog.
Yeah. And like the guy kept looking at us like, and I was trying to be like, yeah, it's a cute baby. Yay, we're all having fun. But then like when he wrapped up, it just seemed like he was like, I got to get out of here.
You're like, no, it's fine. Like it's just a baby. And Edith is like right behind you going,
yeah, exactly.
So pumped up.
Yeah. What's your answer, Mike?
Well, I think it was I did take one trip in 2020, and before all you listeners get mad, it was in my car, and I literally didn't even see the hosts of the Airbnb that I stayed at. So I think about as safe as I could get for a trip. Obviously, not as safe as just staying in my home, but I was like driving in my own car to a place and then hiking in the outdoors seems safe. So I went to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan just to get away for a while. And I took one day, and the thing is, I like to just look on Google Earth and look up weird little places to go. And sometimes something will pop up that I'm like, oh, what's that? And I saw a little random island near like a place where I was staying. And I was like, how could I get to that island? And I found out that there was a ferry that went there. And so it's an island that you can only get to. I mean, you can take a boat there, of course, but it's only for like camping. It is like a national park. You can camp there, but there's no services there. There's a couple cabins, but basically they take you there and they say when you get there on the little ferry, which is just a pontoon boat, they're like, all right, if you're not back by the last ferry time, you got to stay overnight on the island because there's no other way to get back. There is a little phone that if you get stuck, you can call and they'll come and get you, of course. But like
a little phone?
Well, it's, I mean, there's not like a store. What I mean is it's only a phone. Like there's nobody there. Like it's not like there's a convenience store or a nature station or something.
It's just a phone.
It's just a phone that if you get stuck on the island, you got to call. And so I really liked, and I only had a few hours there. So I had to calculate how far I could actually hike and be back in time for the ferry. Because I was like, yeah, I don't want to get left on the island. But it was a really nice hike just along like Lake Superior is so, I always forget that it's so big. Like it's the ocean, you know?
It's basically the ocean.
Basically.
Yeah, you can't see the other side at all. It was a nice way of just getting out and being away from all my cares. Even though like walking by yourself for hours is like, you definitely think about a lot of stuff, but I feel like
I love that.
You have the time to get away from the standard worry stuff and like really get like existential or think about nonsense. I don't know. I feel like you end up exploring the depths of your brain when you're like by yourself for that long.
Oh yeah.
Which is good. So I really liked that. That was a good time.
What was the sound that Edith made when the dog ran? Because that's the sound I want to make about long walks with yourself.
I think it was like, oh. I mean, it sounded a lot cuter because she's small, but that was my version
Anything
of it.
that baby does is just like, aw, unless it's like, you know, shooting a gun or something.
Has she said any words yet?
Yeah, she can say quite a few actually. I mean, they don't sound super clear, but she says ball and snow and moon and
Hypothetipast.
bath. I'll work on that one.
Okay, here's another, and this isn't exactly a favorite question. It's more of a get to know you question. What movie title best describes your life in 2020?
Oh, wow. I would say probably Titanic. probably Titanic. I think that pretty much sums it up in 2020.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't even need to, I totally get that. I don't even need to ask any follow-up questions.
Just think about it and like, ba-bam, it's right there.
Ba-bam. I think mine would be You've Got Mail because there's honestly, I have
Because you fell in love with a bookstore owner next door.
Because I'm in love with the mailman.
Yes,
No,
finally, you've admitted it on air. I keep trying to get you to admit it on air.
I just, honestly though, like,
you are in love with him.
I have been so excited when the mail comes because, like, not only like have I been like engaging in some like, what do they call it? What's the term they use for pandemic buying? Like I buy stuff and I buy, like I got a lot of Etsy gifts this year and a lot of like independent bookstore stuff, but I definitely have bought more online this year than I maybe normally would have. And so honestly, it's a big event in my day when I'm inside all day to have suddenly like someone's on the front porch. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. I love it.
Someone,
so
being.
good. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I've gotten to know the mailman extra good because of that. And so sometimes like a package will come and he'll like knock and just to let me know that it's here. But I feel like, okay, bear with me, but I feel like any human interaction I've had in person at a distance with masks on, whoever, got to know my neighbors a lot this summer, because at first, neighborhood watches were a thing, but then everybody fortunately was like, how can we make this more of a productive discussion about being just a community together? I feel like we were also desperate for human contact that like I had a lot of long conversations I maybe normally wouldn't have been inspired to have because I just have been so deprived of talking to anyone. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
You've got mail. Yeah, it does make sense. It makes less sense to me because I have them every day with customers and coworkers.
Yeah.
But I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But because you get some of that, like there's a very real like craving for actual interaction that you can't get through Zoom or chat or whatever. And so even though, I'm sure there's a lot that you don't like having to interact with some of those people at your job, you are like having a human interaction in a way that.
And to reference your previous point, I am leaving the house, which is a big thing. Like changing your environment is good for our brains. We need it. And when we don't do it a lot, it makes us real sad and depressed and scared. But you know what's good? Prison. Prison makes sense, right? That's a rehabilitation. Anyway, let's go to the next question.
Emily, did you share?
Oh no, Emily,
I
you have to
didn't.
say.
So I cheated and I looked on the internet and I have two contenders. One.
Did you just Google what movies best describe 2020?
No, I googled movies with house or home in the title.
The Lake House, starring Keanu Reeves.
No, that was on the list.
Life as a House, starring Hayden Christensen.
So, Monster House.
Wow.
Oh yeah, dude, Dan Harmon directed that movie.
Or Big Mama's House.
You got to pick one. Big Mama Monster House. Big Momster's House.
Wait, can I ask, are you one of those, now that you have a child, do you refer to yourself as Big Mama?
I don't. I do refer to myself as Mama like a little more than I wish I did.
To who?
To Edie.
Okay.
Like Mama's here and
sure. Yeah, why do you wish you didn't do that?
Well, it's just kind of like
deep down?
I don't know. I find myself using baby talk a lot, and before having a kid thought I would never do that, and it just happens. So I don't call myself Big Mama, but
Little Mama?
No, I don't. Just Mama.
Just regular style Mama. Yeah.
And I've been home, so
you've been home.
Yeah.
Do you think there will be a time in your life where you and Tanner call each other mother and father? Like
God,
some couples?
No.
That's so exciting.
No, I hate it so much. Although we do, that's the thing is we do say mama and daddy. Like I'll be like, daddy's here. It's daddy.
Exactly. That's how it starts.
So that's weird. But no, we will never do the like Mike Pence, like mother bring me my dinner. Ew. I don't like that stuff.
Yeah. Do you think you'll ever call Tanner Mike Pence though? Because I know he wants that.
Honestly, that's probably more likely than me calling him father. Ugh. Ugh.
Father.
Gross.
All right, let's move on. How about this? What was your favorite app of 2020? Or website if you want to go, if you've been on your computer more than your phone? Because I know, David, you use computer more than your phone maybe.
It depends on the day. I would say top ones, I'm just going to throw some out there. Isitchristmas.com. Pretty good. Big fan of that one.
Is that what you checked a lot?
DoVaccines.causeautism.com. Also very important.
Interesting.
Okay.
There's just a lot of good answers to be found on those websites.
And all
You should check.
they all go to the same page, right? That just says no. Is
It
that
says
right?
no, except on Christmas.
Christmas.
When that website does say yes.
Yes, vaccines cause autism
Yes,
on
on
Christmas.
Christmas, vaccines do
Oh
cause
no!
autism.
No.
Oh no!
No.
Oh, it never does. Spoiler, but you should visit that website to learn more.
Great.
My favorite website. You know what? I'm going to actually have an honest answer. Surprise, David, going to be sincere. Watch out.
Oh boy.
My favorite website has been Feedly. And that is something that you're probably familiar with, but don't know the specific one, so don't be too scared. It is an RSS catcher, which basically means it is a way for me to aggregate all of the news into one place, read the headlines of it without advertisements, without having to use Facebook or Instagram for my news, and actually be able to just read articles from websites that I like and trust. And that was a game changer when I started using that this year, because as many of us, I was basically just sort of always looking at Facebook and Twitter for news. And that is a way. Like Mike and I have had conversations about how Twitter is essential for actual on the ground sorts of reporting in ways that bigger media conglomerate folks are never going to be able to do. And that's just the nature of it. And that's fine. You know, they're different things. But wow, it gets mentally exhausting to be on social media all day trying to find out what's going on. And it really helped me slow down and read stuff. So if you're interested in that, Feedly is very attractive. But honestly, just Googling like RSS reader is going to get you there in so many different ways. So nice.
Nice. Well, you already took mine, David.
Oh, Twitter?
I was going to say Twitter. I'm going to talk more about Twitter later. Emily, what were you thinking?
I'm just like a big old basic bitch, you guys.
Is that an app?
Gmail?
I'm trying Gmail. I'm
love
trying to
Gmail.
think. I'm like looking at my apps right now. So obviously Instagram is like number one for me.
Wait, can you tell which one you use the most?
Spend a lot of time. No. I'm just like looking at, and I'm thinking about
I
like
see.
the ones that I click on, and it's usually Instagram.
Mine is Christian Mingle. Actually, I just looked at my
Okay.
usage statistics. It looks like it's Christian Mingle.
What happened to David being
Whoops.
sincere?
What? This is fighting Jackie Chan
Yeah, this isn't David.
toxic masculinity, David.
This is-
This is a different one.
Fighter.
Emily, there's nothing wrong with Instagram. I think I used it a lot too.
Yeah.
This isn't meant to be the coolest app that makes you a cool person.
No.
I know. I just like it would be cool if it was like one that people didn't know about.
It would be cool.
I mean, I will shout out an app that I got to start using again this year, which is the Clue app, which is a period tracker app, and it is so good. And you can pay, and if you pay, they're really just like, they are like researchers, and they develop this app to help women understand more about their bodies, and it's really good. And I was like weirdly excited to get to start using it again this year.
Aw.
Yeah, so that was one of my
that makes
favorite
sense.
apps. Yeah, and I don't even know websites. Do I go to websites? I mean, I
Websites?
there are like I like to read articles on certain news sites, especially before I run out of free ones.
Was that Clue app spelled CLUE?
Yep.
Like, does it stand for something? I'm trying to figure out why an app that has to do with periods is called Clue.
I think that it has to do with the fact that so what you do is you enter different things that you're feeling, and you could do it every day because they've expanded it so much now. There's like mood, and like there's like whether or not you're bleeding, but also just like your mood and your energy level, and your emotions, and how well you slept, and what you were craving, and any pain you were feeling. I mean, there's like so many different things that you track. And the idea is that if you track it enough, it will start to recognize your own cycles. Because there are so many people. I mean,
So they're
I
clues.
totally used to be someone who was just like, I literally have no idea when, I never knew. It was always like, oh my gosh, it's here. Because I just like never thought about it or paid attention to my body. But since I started using it a few years ago, I started to be able to pick up on like, oh, my cycle is about this length. And usually like 2 days before it starts, I get a headache and I start to feel a couple other things. So I think it's kind of, and then every time you enter it, this little thing on the top says, we're learning more about you.
Oh, it has clues about you.
They're big
Which is
data.
like, usually something you don't want to see that pop up on the top of an app.
I'm like not that
We know
person.
more about you now.
I feel like I am the person that big data loves. I'm like, learn all about me. Just get
Big
to know
data.
me. Show me you love me. Here's
to know me.
here's all the stuff about me so that you can. I mean, I know that it's bad, but I just like to feel seen.
And sometimes being seen by an app, it's good enough.
Yeah.
I think though that kind of highlights the problem with a lot of the apps. The blessing and the curse of them is that like they're great. Like David was saying, Twitter, which I was going to say is probably my favorite app, even though it is a cursed place a lot of the time. It's cursed because it's very hard to regulate what goes on there. But it's also very good because it's hard to regulate what goes on there. Because you have like when a lot of the stuff was happening in Minneapolis, like I just wanted to know what was going on. And if I turn on NPR or look on the major news sites or channels, there's nothing. They were asleep. But if I go on Twitter, there's like people who are going live. I mean, on Instagram as well and Facebook. And like, I think one of the big things is it puts the responsibility on you. Like you have to figure out like, who am I going to follow? Who am I going to trust? And as we found out, there's a whole lot of people that go down a whole lot of bad paths because they decide to trust untrustworthy sources. But you get to find out a lot of stuff that you wouldn't never find out other ways.
Yeah.
I interact with like authors and actors that I like they'll literally like have a mini conversation with me on Twitter about a movie that we like or something that would never happen in real life. But like,
Right.
I
Yes,
think that's
exactly.
really fun. That's like
It
if
is
Ryan
cool.
Johnson and I can commiserate about like a weird 70s mystery movie like Sleuth, by the way. Sleuth. Everyone should watch Sleuth. That's my recommendation.
Is Sleuth the app that helps you track your periods?
It helps me track when Emily's having her period because I want to help out.
Cool.
I want to help
right.
out.
Sleuth is the one that finds the clues. So if you have a person that menstruates in your life and you want to help them know when it's time, but you don't menstruate, you download Sleuth. But if you're the one menstruating, you download Clue. Yep, that's true.
Yeah. Well, actually,
you know what? Actually, you can share your data on Clue.
Yeah,
that makes
why not?
sense.
Like
Makes
when we
sense.
were when we were trying to get pregnant, I could like share mine with Tanner.
I feel kind of offended that you haven't shared it with us yet.
I
Emily,
will.
but
I'll
it's
do it
okay.
right now.
What's next? Leave me one more.
You want another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I freaking
What-
want another one.
What's the last adventure you went on in 2020?
Adventure.
Interpret that however
Yeah.
you want to.
Okay.
Could have been in a good book. Could have been finding a good snack at the back of the fridge. That could be an adventure. I decided to lean into Christmas a little more than I do usually because sometimes I'm apprehensive about it. But I did plan out with a friend of mine. We were like, let's go look at Christmas lights. And we found a map that tracked like the entire metropolitan area. And we had a spreadsheet of like places to go visit. And the best one was way out in the country by like Rosemont, which is a good like 45 minutes out of the city. And it was like a random farm that had all of these very old mannequins just all in like all throughout the yard that you drove through. And they were so creepy. There was like an off-brand Grinch that they'd assembled out of like a mannequin in some green fur. And it's like the Grinch is already pretty freaky, but this was the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Wait, so like all the mannequins Christmas people?
Yes, they were all Christmas people, but in different scenes. So it was like a whole like tableau with different parts. And there was like a little toy shack and there was little kids trying to get in. And there was like like literally when we drove up to it, it's out in the countryside. So it looked like a crowd of people were in the front lawn, but they were supposed to be carolers. But it was literally like about 30 mannequins just set up as carolers. But there were literally like
so scary.
over 100 different mannequins in different scenes. So, and that what I appreciated about that was a lot of the Christmas lights were cool, but very similar. Like most Christmas displays are just kind of the same. And David and I talked about it after I got back that like Halloween tends to be more creative because there isn't like a template for it. But Christmas is like you get the coordinated lights and you deck out all the trees, tends to lend itself to less creativity. There's still some out there, but I was really happy just to be like, they got all these weird looking mannequins. It's a great thing to discover just out in the middle of nowhere. So I was really happy that I made that trek.
Oh, goodness. Mine is not that cool, but I will tell the tale of how I did most of my Christmas shopping on the internet, which I'm very glad I did because my anxiety about the COVID numbers surging was quite high throughout the holiday season, which is not over yet. But there was one gift that I had decided I was going to get Tanner, and Tanner and I finally just like buckled down and made lists. Like they're ongoing spreadsheets on Google Drive that we can just basically, it's kind of like a wish list, but the other person can view it.
Nice.
So that it doesn't feel like prescriptive. These are the 2 things I want you to get me, but it's kind of like, here's a bunch of stuff at different price points that I would like to buy for myself anyway, that kind of thing. So I decided that I wanted to get him this wood splitting maul, which like, I'm going to be really honest. I don't quite understand why, but Tanner really wants to get like a cord of wood and split it himself.
Hell yeah. I understand why.
Okay. That's good. I don't. But he had put like a link to a specific one, and I had no idea like if it was because this was the best one or what, like why, but it was, I could only find it at this hardware store in Bloomington or Richfield, I can't remember, that was only open until 7 p.m. every day. So, I work and then I take care of Edie, or I just take care of Edie, but I don't usually have the opportunity to get out of the house before 7. So I had to go on a weekend. And so I had to be like, I have to go get something that I can't tell you what it is, but I got to go get it. It was so not the type of store that I ever go in. It was like small and old school, and they were playing like very heavy metal, and it was just like there was like a part of me that was like, I can't believe I get to go in a store and it's this, but it was also really fascinating, lots of different types of people. And then I got in line behind this old couple and witnessed like the longest, most confusing and obnoxious interaction where the person working there tried to sell them like a warranty. He said no, and she said yes. And then at the end of the conversation, after they were about to leave, and then the woman realized that they hadn't actually gotten it, the person at the cash register was like, oh, well, he said no. I just thought that's what, And she was like, no, we want it. And the couple had this like silent, really aggressive interaction between the two of them that was like, oh, I think you guys might hate each other.
No.
And then this is the only other fun thing that happened.
This is just terrible.
Yeah, that was bad.
Telling us this.
That part was bad, and I felt bad for everybody involved. But then this other random guy who works there walked by, and there was like a long line behind me then by that point because they were taking forever. And he pointed to me and looked at the cash register person and was like, she gets 20% off. And I have no idea why. I think maybe he thought I was someone else.
Or you were hot.
I don't know. I didn't get it.
Don't give yourself some credit, Emily.
I really don't think I was. I was wearing like my North Face, and I don't think it was that. But maybe he really liked my my mask. But yeah, I got it. I bought it, and then I came home, and then I was really proud of the way I wrapped it. I wrapped it like to the form of it so that you could tell exactly what it was.
Oh, nice. Did you split some wood for him with it as a demonstration, but while it was still wrapped, and you were like, guess what this is?
No, I was really excited to like show off how I wrapped it. So I was going to put it under the tree, but I was like, do you mind if I put something under the tree and you'll be able to tell what it is right away? And he was like, no. So then I didn't. So then I just hit it, and then I brought it out like 2 seconds before he opened it.
Yeah.
I took a picture.
Yeah,
don't
it's weird.
worry.
If you wrap it and it like looks exactly like what it is, that kind of does defeat the
I know,
purpose
but
of
it's
wrapping it a
funny
little bit.
because how the hell else are you going to wrap a wood splitting maul, which was about 20 pounds heavier than I expected it to be?
Oh, damn. It was 80 pounds instead of 60?
I don't know. It was huge and heavy.
You put it in a box.
Put it in a box.
It's way too big for a box. I don't have a box that big.
Buy a fridge. Easy, Emily. You just buy a fridge, use the box from the fridge to pack up the mall, return the fridge. Everybody wins.
Okay.
You borrow a bicycle and then you put the maul like you tape that to the bicycle frame. You wrap up the bicycle
Yeah.
so he thinks he's getting a bicycle.
Oh, that's
But
funny.
like a kid-sized bicycle. That's the key.
then
He's
he-
like, no way would I want that.
Yeah.
He's going to be really mad for like a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then bam, it's a mall.
Okay,
It's a
well,
fucking mall.
I think he has like a sledgehammer on his list too. So I'll do that when I get him the sledgehammer.
Yes. Oh, I'm
Next
so
year.
excited.
For Valentine's
Yeah,
Day.
for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, oh no, here's what you do. Okay, this is the new thing. We try to figure out how Emily can deliver these gifts to Tanner. You tape the sledgehammer to the trunk of your Christmas tree so he can't see it. So it's hidden
Okay.
inside. And then you light the tree on fire on Christmas morning and it burns off and all that's left is the sledgehammer and you're like, Merry Christmas. And he's like, wow, this is the best Christmas ever.
Cool.
I
I
mean-
just wrote all of that down. Thank you, David.
You did. I saw
think-
you do it and I appreciate that.
David, have you answered
Wow.
adventures yet?
Yeah, I'm going to make mine really fast.
Yeah.
I played a game called Kentucky Route Zero, which was started development in 2011, and it just finished. Is a video game that took 9 years to make. That is both a cool thing and a very bad thing about the video games industry, but it is a game about a secret highway in Kentucky, and it's sort of a game about how America really leaves its workers behind in a lot of ways. It was made during one recession and finally was finished in a different recession.
Oh, yikes.
And it's honestly a fascinating game that's super surreal and one of my favorite things that I've ever played. And it's weird that I started playing it like 7 years ago. So it came out in 5 acts, which is how it was able to be released over such a
Okay.
long period of time. But that was quite the adventure, and I finally got to finish that. So
That's cool.
if anybody out there likes video games and or visual novels, that might be up your alley.
Awesome.
I ordered that game in like the spring, and I knew it was going to get shipped later because they're like a very limited edition company. But it was supposed to come like in the fall, and they've kept delaying it, and so now I'm going to get it sometime in 2021, and that's
Yeah, who
okay.
knows?
I have plenty of games to play, and now it's kind of the point where I'll just forget that it's coming. It'll just show up and be a wonderful
It'll be a
surprise
nice
from my
surprise.
favorite
Really
guy,
fun.
the mailman.
Your lover, the mailman.
No, it's not that kind of love.
Kiss.
All right. Well, thanks everyone.
Thank you,
that
Mike.
was our year in review.
That was our year. Hypothetipast.
That was our Hypothetipast. Do you have anything else to say?
I don't think so. Like it definitely wasn't what we maybe thought or what we hoped for, but I'm glad that we kept doing this podcast.
We did.
Yeah. Do you think there's someone out
I
there?
say a really sweet thing and you guys are both like, yeah.
Okay, David said that.
I think we were both.
I
was
didn't say
responding.
anything.
Hey, let's be fair here. Let's be fair. I was responding to the first half of what you said,
Okay.
not the second. You said a pretty real,
Yes.
pretty somber
Yes.
thing, and then followed it up with a nice thing.
Yeah.
And I made the mistake of responding to the first one instead of the second one. Can you give it to me again? Just give me a real clean one.
I love you guys.
I love you too.
Yay.
That was how it went before.
Yep.
There wasn't anything before that.
I have one last question.
Okay.
Yeah, what's it called?
It's called Would You Rather? No, wait. What's the segment called?
Oh my God.
If I Were You. No, that's not
It's
it.
the
It's
one
called
thing we do
No
every time.
Questions Asked.
Every time.
So I'm going to ask you one more question, and no more comments or questions are allowed.
No questions.
Here it comes. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What was your favorite animal of 2020?
Myself.
A bird.
The moose I saw in the UP. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. A bird.
I'm marching, marching, 'cause I'm gonna live.
The Music by Jaden James and the Hunger. Logo by Christian Hagen. Edited by David Gucci. If you want more of our hypothetical content, join our Facebook group or like our posts on Twitter or Instagram or give us some stars and a review on iTunes or wherever the heck you get your podcasts.
The only thing I can think of he was in the United States was a show on CBS Saturday night called Martial Law that was him and Arsenio Hall solving crimes. I think it was like an attempt for them to piggyback off to like the Rush Hour because it was like martial arts and black guy do crime stuff. Mm-hmm. But every episode was like a pretty typical CBS crime procedural, and then there would be a random like amazing fight scene in the middle where Sammo Hung would be in like a grocery store and suddenly for 5 minutes he would beat up a guy with a loaf of French bread. Like it was awesome.
That actually does sound like a pretty good formula for a show.